All right. A, hi. B, hello. C, good evening. See if you catch the Monty Python reference there. My name is John Nelson, the plugin CEO of JKL Works and pluginbusiness.com and .net. And they are that is why we're doing this today. And if you see me looking over like this, that's because, well, I have another monitor over there and I'm just checking a couple of things just to try to make all this a little bit easier. So today we are going to talk about 6 ways. It was 5. I just added another one because I remembered what it was. 6 ways to add to do document signing. This is kind of a personal quest for us right now because we're Go High Level added some new capabilities. Spoiler alert, they're one of them that are in this list. But they added some new capabilities, and so we've been trying to live that out. But as our friends over at GHL Mastery said, it's kind of like a skateboard instead of a new car. It's ready, but not quite as full and robust as some of the other options we're going to see. Yet, it is baked for those of you who use Go High Level. It's baked into Go High Level. So let's explore some options here, shall we? About different things that we can do to make that happen. So I'm actually going to, I outsmarted myself and I'm going to come back over here and make sure that this is, there we go. Let's begin at the beginning, shall we? And that is Adobe Acrobat. It is the de facto, it has been there forever. Everybody uses it. And actually what I was able to do in years past was I figured out how the equations work. I figured the language that it uses. I figured out how to do some other things. And for a lot of you creatives, especially people who work in Adobe Suite, this is no big deal. But for those of us who do enough different types of software to be dangerous and who work in business, that's kind of a big deal. So we were making it do calculations for a rental agreement. And I don't have a sample of that, but it was pretty cool if I do say so myself. The only drawback at the time, which I think they have fixed, is that it wasn't very connected to anything. But Adobe being Adobe, they kind of like to own whatever they're connected to anyway. So they, I think they have changed some of that where it is more accessible. Like if you need to pull in contact information from something to sign a contract or sign a document. But otherwise, and they have certainly some online things now where they did not before. But it is certainly, it is the de facto standard. Even though they lost exclusivity to the concept of the PDF, we're here in my account just to show you I had one. I was a Creative Cloud member for many years. Until I just realized I found other alternatives for what it was I needed. Some of those we're going to explore today, and that were less expensive for a small business type person instead of even the Adobe lease license that they have. So, but we did a lot of good things with it, really enjoyed it. If you're an Adobe person, if they've spent a long time building up their legacy, and so great, enjoy it. It's a fantastic piece of software. Okay, so that is option number 1 for document signing. And of course, it's legendary for doing so, although the signatures look a little odd. I think they have cleaned that up, or mostly what has inspired them to clean that up is one of the other choices on this list. Now, let's talk about briefly an alternative if you want an alternative to Adobe. This is absolutely the best one I found out there. There's some other options, but this one's really good, as you'll see in a minute. It's called Copa. I guess that's how you say that. Copa PDF Studio, and they come out with, the only knock on them is that they keep coming out with different versions, and they keep wanting you to upgrade and all that good stuff. But you actually do, buy the license to the software to use the software and you can keep using it for as long as you want. They keep giving you upgrade prices. It's not a monthly lease like Adobe and Microsoft has now gone to, and some others. It is actually downloadable software. So let's kind of see what this looks like, shall we? So here is, we're going to play with this non-disclosure agreement that we have here. And so you'll see that everything's in a little different place. It's not that dissimilar. So I just added in here all you do is go click a item here, and I will drag it over to the date field, which it's enormously huge. So I'm going to place it there. And I mean, there you go. That's I can hit escape, and then I can change the sizes of all this. I can label it. I can probably make it do some calculations, although it's not quite, not that Adobe is that intuitive, but this is less intuitive, okay, for doing different things. But you see, you can add different forms. You can add checkboxes. You can add radio buttons. You can add some of the things that the online guys haven't figured out yet. Some of the online guys haven't figured out yet. All the way down to there's an initial space. So you can do that or really just add it as a field. I don't think it's that sophisticated yet. But then you get down to the signature section, and you can add a standard signature block that you probably see up here. You can add signatures, you can add dates, and it is every bit what Adobe Acrobat is. Probably a little dated. They're a little bit behind. They have to catch up. Adobe, as we said, lost that exclusivity at one point, and so it allowed software like this to come in and catch up. But Adobe, to their credit, has innovated. They have done some other things with different types of PDF variants and different connections to things like Microsoft Office and some other collaboration tools. So they're not resting on their laurels either. So we have that. That is Copa PDF Studio, and there are all kinds of pricing options. If you go looking for this, you'll get a good deal on it. And but it lasts usually the year, or you can run it longer, but they will try to get you to upgrade, so, and make it a pretty good deal to do so. So you either are on board with that model or you're not. Okay, so these are the two quote unquote terrestrial non-online options, even though they have some online features, especially Adobe. Copa's not there, but this is the offline stuff. Now let's go to some online document signing tools. And we could not have any of this discussion without the granddaddy of them all. You know it as DocuSign. So DocuSign is the one I referred to earlier that really took that concept of signing documents, the specific things, and they made it for the masses. I guess there's good and bad with DocuSign because there are so many other alternatives. So there must be some issues out there, but they were the first, and they have, everybody's done a DocuSign document at some point, probably, and they're very ubiquitous. And so that's good. I mean, they have DocuSign account. I've done some stuff, but I've never really gone and created an actual account for signing things other than through other software to get to DocuSign. So it does document signing, does form filling, which is really, really what this other is filling out forms. But it just happened to have a signature line. But all of these do this. They all fill out the form. So here you are with, and you get to see the current pricing as of spring of 2024 for DocuSign. And what they can do. Okay, so the next one we go to is probably the most immediate alternative aimed directly at DocuSign, and that is the team at PandaDoc. And PandaDoc we're going to spend a little time with them because we do have an account and we are an affiliate, and so it's just full disclosure. But these guys, they kind of took some of the things, the gaps that they perceived DocuSign as having, and they have attempted to fill them. So they are doing that. You see, we're on the pricing page, and there's annual plans and whatnot. This is software leasing, and if you want to know kind of what their online looks like, we're going to go inside the account here, and so you can have templates, you can have documents of all kinds. It does the form filling. We can do the non-disclosure here. Let's just kind of see what this looks like. I hope this doesn't have any company information on it. If it does, we'll have to jump off. But at least you can see kind of what these look like as you work down through. You can see the different levels. Yeah, there may be a few things, but you can also see we're sort of editing the template, and you can see the form fields as to where they are. They're all over here. You can add any number of them. They have quite a few options, including checkboxes and other things. The only thing, depending on which software you use and whether or not it has a connection to any of these, the only thing that might be an issue is that there's no connection to your CRM system. There's no connection to fill in some of the name, address, and contact information that's out there. There's none of that. So you have to have a connection. Now you say, I hear some of you jumping up and down going, I've used PandaDoc for a long time and I have it connected to my CRM. Well, yes, you can. Same with DocuSign, through other software, through services like Zapier, however you say that, and Make and Pabbly, and several of those that are out there. IFTTT is probably in there someplace. So there's plenty of those options, and they will pull from your information from your software, perhaps contact information, and they will return whether or not a document has been signed to update with. Now, the knock there is that for many of these softwares, it takes a little setting up, and because you're using things called webhooks. They'll look for certain information from certain sites, and then they pull the information in and make it happen. Okay, so but nonetheless, that is PandaDoc. And for those of you who use Go High Level, this has kind of been the de facto standard for a while, is using PandaDoc, although many use DocuSign, and I'm sure do just fine with it. But this has been that standard for a while. So that is PandaDoc, and their pricing is maybe a little more expensive than some of the DocuSigns, but they load up a lot of features where DocuSign does not necessarily. Or that's how they've kind of made their market differentiating piece, is that they load up extra features and they're easy to work with and their customer service is good. So that's how that has made a difference. All right. So now we keep going, and we're going to another option. We've used in real estate. Our realtor uses this. It's called .loop. And .loop is, I don't know if it's affiliated with anybody, but it bills itself as a largely real estate, much less expensive alternative to DocuSign, although it looks a lot like it once you actually get into signing documents. But nonetheless, you see they have some business options here. They don't have their pricing, which is you guys are missing out on that. And I know everybody price shops, and I know it's all that, but they have positioned themselves in the real estate market and tried to make and even though DocuSign has a specific real estate version, .loop here is trying to make a difference there as to how they can set that up. So I'm not sure why they bother advertising to us if we're buying a house, or selling a house, but whenever you sign real estate documents, they give you opportunities to buy a .loop. So that's part of how they, I guess, get the word out there. But this is an option, and it's a late ad here, but I wanted to get it in there as far as how that goes, particularly if you're in real estate, though it looks like they do some other business ones too. A little less expensive. There are several like this. There's Sign Now. There's I don't know. There's dozens of these, but these are the ones that we've had direct experience with, so we wanted to get them out there. And finally, we alluded to it earlier, Go High Level has gotten into the document and contract signing business. It is a little bare bones compared to everything else you just saw, but it is, if you're in the Go High Level ecosystem, it is finally connected to Go High Level internally. So you can use custom values, you can use some different things. So let's just have a look at that same non-disclosure. So you come up here, we're under payments, by the way, in Go High Level, and you can come here to the documents and settings. So I'm going to go, and then you have all of them. So like a lot of these, you start with a template, or you can start with a template if you don't want to start with a blank document. You can also import documents if you already have something, like all the rest of these softwares will let you do, the online versions anyway. And then you have, and then you start with that template, and then you fill out the template, get it where you want it in terms of the form, and then you say sign it, and then that's where it would show up in here. I don't have any of those pending here at the moment. This has been Go High Level. This has been a little bit of an adventure trying to set this up. And so where you're going to see in a minute, the actual templates are not that great yet. This is one of those they're probably setting up to where they're going to have some more functionality that they're going to build in. They're already starting to. So we'll come down here to the non-disclosure agreement. So you see very similar to what we just saw. Now these blank spaces and these lines, I mean, you can add custom value fields. These are set up as, okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click the plus sign so you get to see what you have. So you can have, there's not that many options yet. This up here is all aesthetics. You can add images, you can add other things like that. The ones down here are more form building ish. So you would actually have the text field down here to add a field that you could fill in. And from that point, you can put in one of the custom values. Cannot do custom fields yet, but I'm sure that's coming. But you can certainly do custom values. You can also do the signature. You can do the date. And actually, one of the cool things you can do with this that I'm not sure if everybody else offers as smoothly is you can do videos. You can embed videos in these forms, in these contracts and these documents that maybe explain what to do next or something like that. So that's kind of neat, because you're still, the way most of these work is you receive an email for the online ones, is you receive an email and you click to go sign. So then it takes you to a website, and from there they can spell out so many of the different options that you have. Okay, so you got that, and then but the video just falls right into it. So you can have a video right there on the page, which is really nice. So we're over here filling all these out and setting all this up. And like I said, the one main advantage this has, as simplistic as it is right now, is that you can pull in the custom values from your contacts if you use Go High Level. If you don't use Go High Level, don't go get it for this. Go get it for the many other things that it does. But this is not quite that ready yet. It's the four-wheeled skateboard versus the hot rod high performance car that we saw in some of those other pieces. But it will get there. In all fairness, it will get there. You can create documents from blanks. You can also import PDF files that you already have, and then you can come through and add your blank stuff. The only thing is, I don't think you can edit if you import very much. So you kind of have to set this up in advance with your PDF creator from a Word document or presentation or whatever you do, and then pull this in as you need it. So, and then part of the magic from here, if we can get there easily, is so you could send documents. Yeah, I was in there in a template. So then you create that convert that to an actual document, add in the people, add in who is signing it besides you, like most of these do. High Level is the same way. And then you can tell it directly send by email. It will also follow an order. You can also generate a link that you can put in your own email and send it, and have it do that. But one of the other cool reasons to get this Go High Level piece is you can add it into workflows. And you can have it now automate some of those. So we're going to do that, at least show you some of what that looks like. So we're going to come over here to my onboarding section, and we're going to, we can just use this. So this is a sequence that you have to put in now. The only thing is you can only use the templates that they have for you to send, and it's pretty much one. You can't have the template list something look different depending on what form you're sending out there. So if you send out multiple forms or contracts, that's a little problematic. The best you can do is there is a custom value you can enter called document.name. And so you can make it have the different name listing of whatever the document is, but you can't make the whole template look different from one document to the other. So I would hope that's something they work on. But at the time of this video, that's not the case. So we're working our way down through here, and I'm going to find right here. See where it says this is the sending of the document. So this is an action you can add that basically says, go send the document. Okay, what are we doing, guys? There we go. Okay. So you can tell it which one that you want to send, and it will take care of sending the email. Notice also here that you have to assign it an email address. So as was pointed out by a couple of people in here, you actually have to go and create. A couple of the people that have made YouTube videos on how to do this. There is very little still, although it's getting better. Ray O'Daniel has one. The Leads for Locals guy has one. That's Christine Seal has one as also, but it's a little older and doesn't really dive into some of this. And then Go High Level Mastery guys are coming out with videos as well that are specifically how-tos on how to deal with this. So but you do have to add it would be good that you go into your users, or you set aside a dedicated user already in your Go High Level system, and you designate them as the one who sends this out, because you see you have to add this here to make that happen. Otherwise, things mess up. Another thing I've learned on this adventure journey, and it's been a big one, is some of the custom values that you put in emails you have to change. So you can set this up to detect when the document has been signed, and then after that point, instead of putting the custom value of contact first name, contact last name, you have to add one that goes something like document recipient dot first name, or document recipient dot last name. It's a very special add-on that you have to include. Otherwise, it shows up as blank. So still some polish that needs to happen on this, but it's a great functioning system for those of you who have Go High Level here already. All right, so that's what we have. Those are several options for you that are document-centric things. And I hope that is something. I'm looking at my monitor to the right there. I hope that is something that helps you out whenever you're looking for alternatives to sign contracts, to sign agreements, to sign just forms in general. If you're in business, you're going to have some of those. So it's taking a good look at your ecosystem and what you're already dealing with, and seeing if you can find some options that work for you, that fit within what you have, that fit in your comfort level of learning, because there are some learning curves when you're setting this up. And it's a great idea to map your process and I know it seems basic, and I know you already know it, but really spend some time mapping out that process, because you're going to have to also spend time figuring out where you're going to get the form information from, and what you're willing to do to make that happen, if you want it automated or not. Anyway, that's our look at plugin service profiles. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next video.